Hello, everybody. This is Brian J. Today is today. Tonight's tonight. It's the big fight. It's UFC 214. It's going to be a big card tonight. So yeah, it looks like I was wrong. I predicted, I think last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? No, I think it was last week. A few weeks ago, I said that at least one or two of the fights would not happen tonight because that's kind of been the common thing with UFC pay-per-view. Like, main events sometimes don't happen these days. You know, ever since USADA came along and the banning of the IV liquids, the IV ban and USADA, it's been tougher for fighters to make weight, tougher for fighters to take the drugs that they used to take. So I don't know, a lot of fights have been falling apart and some fights just being canceled. There's also injuries that have happened too. Injuries, I think, happen more often in MMA and the UFC than in boxing, but you know, at least that's what I've noticed. But yeah, the fights are happening tonight. I'm very happy about that. These are like my fight predictions for the 4 fights that I'm most looking forward to. Fight between Robbie Lawler and Donald Cerrone, which is a great fight on paper. And then you have Chris Cyborg versus Tanya Effinger, Tyron Woodley versus Damian Maia, and John Jones versus Daniel Cormier. These are going to be some big fights tonight. So my predictions for the 4 fights, I have Donald Cerrone winning by TKO or decision against Robbie Lawler. I think Robbie is capable of knocking him out. I think Robbie is kind of past his prime. He's been in too many wars. He's taken so much punishment. He hasn't looked the same in his last 2 fights. It looks like he's slowing down considerably. So I have Donald Cerrone knocking out Robbie Lawler. If not knocking him out, then winning a decision. I think Cerrone's got this. I think he's going to win. And then with the Chris Cyborg Tanya Effinger fight, I have Chris Cyborg winning by TKO in the first or second round. But if Tanya Effinger can withstand the punishment, can take whatever Chris Cyborg could dish out, I think Tanya Effinger, if she takes her past the first 2 rounds, she can probably win by submission or knockout. We'll have to see, but it depends on how well Tanya Effinger does and how far she's willing to go, how much she's willing to deal with the grind against Chris Cyborg. So we'll just have to see. But I have Chris Cyborg winning by TKO in the first or second round. And then there's Tyron Woodley versus Damian Maia. I have Tyron Woodley winning by knockout in the first or second round. If Damian Maia cannot get Woodley to the ground or get him in his guard, then I think Woodley is going to win by knockout. I hope Damian Maia wins. I love Damian Maia. He's a great fighter, a legend in jiu-jitsu. He's a legend in the sport. But I think Woodley, his takedown defense is going to be too much, and I think he's just going to be too strong and too powerful for Maia. So I have Woodley winning by TKO in round 1 or round 2. I think he's going to win by TKO. And then there's the main event, the main fight, which is John Jones versus Daniel Cormier. A rematch that's finally happening. I can't wait for this fight. I've been waiting for this rematch now for 2.5 years. The first fight was very one-sided. It was almost a mismatch. John Jones dominated Daniel Cormier, but that was 2 years ago. Cormier's been more active. He's a world champion. He's defended his title 3 times. He submitted Anthony Johnson twice. So Daniel Cormier, he's a beast right now. He's a great fighter. He's a legend in the sport, and I think Cormier is a future Hall of Famer. Whether he wins or loses against John Jones, Cormier is going to be a Hall of Famer. But yeah, I still have John Jones winning either by TKO or decision. I think he'll most likely win by a decision, and it's going to be a unanimous decision. Cormier is going to put up an excellent fight, but I think John Jones, even though he has ring rust or whatever you want to call it, he trains every day, he works out every day. I think John is going to be very prepared, and I think he's going to win by a TKO or a decision. So those are my predictions. I have John Jones winning by a decision. I have Tyron Woodley winning by TKO. I have Chris Cyborg winning by TKO. And I have Donald Cerrone winning by a decision. So, all right, those are my predictions. This is Brian J. I'm signing off, and I hope the fights are great tonight. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.